So this is a cold gray day on the Bear River. As you'll see in the opening scene, I'm working right against the western bank of the river. There's a group of fish that were rising. You can see one of them right there by the line of my rod. I actually didn't see him. I was looking a little bit further out. And you'll see him rise again right there where the arrow is. Again, I didn't even see him. I could see some other fish out in the current, and I began working out in the current with a nymph. The rod that I'm using is a 13-foot rod, but it zooms out to a little over 14 feet. But the line that I'm using is rather short. It's only 8 feet with 2 feet of tippet. Got 2 flies on, a beadhead prince nymph. There's the fish again rising. I did see him that time. The other fly is a 18 copper john. So now I'm going to work up and see if I can catch that fish. You'll see me here cast a few times and work down through the current straight, trying to keep the bead head off the bottom, as it's only shallow right there. Next, I'm going to work from right to left across in front of that rock where there's a little bit of a hydraulic. Nothing there. Cast again, work the line from right to left, right across the front of the rock, and there he is. It's a pretty good sized fish. About 12 inches, but quite active. Next, I'm working up towards that rock and that pool just behind the large rock, working the nymph through some of these currents. Again, most of this is really rather shallow water, between 6 and 12 inches deep at the most. And I didn't pick anything else up until I got closer to this pool, where I could see a couple smaller rainbows working the very tail of the pool. So here I'm going to work my way up closer and then begin to cast just into the tail of the pool and see if I could pick these fish off without disturbing some of the other fish further up into the pool. So after not getting anything out in the current, working up more towards the tail of the pool, run it through there, and as the fly crosses right in front of the tail, it picks up one of these small rainbows about 10 inches long. Again, the line is pretty short for such a long rod. And here I'm just going to shorten the rod up a little bit, grab the line, and flip him off and go to the next fish. Here I'm working the mid portion of the pool, and pick up another small but energetic rainbow. Right there. After I'd hooked those other two fish, I could see one a little bit bigger working up more towards the head of the pool. He was taking either dries or emergers, and so I switched rods and I switched over to a number 20 olive RS2, where the wing is a little bit of white foam. I greased the foam so that it would just float underneath the surface, and used a much longer line here, about 16 feet. And you're going to see the fish come up and rise and take my fly, but I literally pull it right out of his mouth. Right there. But here I'm going to work it a little bit more and slightly to the left. See if I can encourage him to take it again. You'll see him porpoise up and take this fly and give a pretty good fight. So we're going to cast again. Right there.
Yeah. Excellent.
Here you get a really good view of my glove and my arm. Sorry about that. I was holding it up in front of the camera as the fish was fighting. So this fish certainly wasn't giant by any means. It was about 14 inches, but still he gave a good fight, and it was a fun. I spent hours, about an hour and 10 minutes I spent on the river, and then I had to head back. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.